Hey guys, Tychonders here again doing another action figure review, and this time it is for the Mcfarlane Toys Stranger Things figures for Will and Mike. Now this is part of the Season 2 wave figures. They're not actual Season 2 characters, they're actually the versions of them from Season 1, but they're on the website that I ordered them, or the store that I ordered them from. They were listed as Season 2. There is one Season 2 character in the lot, or in the wave, which is the Season 2 version of 11, which is the kind of punk rocker look for 11. Now unfortunately I don't have the first season version of 11 or Hopper. They were first. They were wave 1 figures. The wave 1 split into two parts, so the first wave of wave 1 was Hopper and 11, and then you had Dustin and Lucas. And then for the season 2 stuff, or the wave 2, you have Will, Mike, 11, and there's an exclusive version of Will, which is the upside down version. But I'm also feeling Barbara was released, or Barb was released as well, but I haven't seen her anywhere. But I have seen some people have images of the figure, so I'm assuming she has been released somewhere. But that aside, onto the packaging. So the packaging for both figures is identical. It's the exact same packaging that has been across the board. So you have the Stranger Things logo image from the artwork kind of image. So you have most of the characters on the cover here, and then you have a name for the character up top, which is this is Will's box. And then flipping around to the back of the box, as you can see, Mike's one is exactly the same. Flipping around to the back of the box, you have just the characters that are released. So there's the upside down version exclusive of Will, which is exactly the same. The only thing he has a much paler skin tone and kind of really sunken eyes. You have the 11, which is the punk rock version of 11, or the punk version it's known as, of 11, with the, she comes with an extra pair of hands and kind of a baby mask, which is what I think they wore when they were I think they were wearing them when they were trying to steal stuff, I think, if I remember correctly. And then you have the two figures which I'm reviewing, Will and Mike, with their accessories. It is interesting to note that both versions of Mike come with the exact same, or sorry, both versions of Will come with the exact same accessories. So onto the figures themselves. Both figures come with a stand, and you have a backpack. Now what's interesting about the backpack is on both mine had this left side shoulder was loose. Now I think they did that intentionally because the first ones that came with Dustin and Lucas weren't, and it was a lot harder to get them onto the shoulders. I think they did this so you could specifically get it over one shoulder and then plug it in once it's over. Will comes with a walkie-talkie. Mikey has pretty much the same accessories except for two differences. He comes with the exact same walkie-talkie with a hand that's sculpted to look like his hands. Will's ones are sculpted to look like Will's, obviously. He comes with a backpack as well, but it's a different backpack to Mike's. It's unique. Each kid has their own backpack, which is unique to them. And then he also comes with this torch accessory, which can fit into either hand, but it's once you get them into the hands, it's easy enough to get them in. So height wise, Mike stands about maybe 6.5 inches tall. I know they're on the bases, so I'll measure from the base. Will stands just a little under 6. Yes, yeah, about 6.5. Will, out of all the figures, is the smallest of the four main kids. Dustin tends to be the tallest. Or as I knock everything over, let me just rearrange that. So Dustin tends to be the tallest of them. I think that's mostly due to the cap that he's wearing. And then you got Lucas is roughly around the same height as Mike. And then, as I said, Will is the smallest of the three. Or sorry, smallest of the four. As I said, I don't have 11. I'm not sure how she scales in with them. I think she was around the same height as Mike was, so she should probably fit into that scale. But I'll go on to articulation. So they both have the exact same articulation, so I'll just use Will So Will has a ball joint in the head, can look up, not much because of the sculpt of the hair and the jacket, but can look down. Mike is pretty much the same because of the way his hair is sculpted. He doesn't get much back motion in the head. His arms can go out that much. They can do a 360, but they have to go out to the side because of the coat or the jacket. He does have a single joint in the elbow. You get just around 90-degree bend. You have wrist swivel, and there's actually a hinge in the wrist. They do have waist swivels, but they're really tight. You do have splits, and you have forward and back on the hip, and you have a single jointed knee, which is a little less than 90-degree bend, and then you have ankle rockers, but because of the way Will's pants are sculpted, they actually go down over the boot, so you don't get much range of movement out of it. For Mike, we just get Will to stand without him falling over. He tends to stand a bit better on the stand rather than on his own. So for Mike, he does, as I said, have the exact same articulation. You can see the ankle is a bit easier to move on his. He does have the single jointed knees, same hip articulation, but it's a bit more hindered by the coat. Does have the 90-degree bend in the elbow. His arms can go out that much. Now, he does have the same hand articulation, but because of the way the coat is sculpted, it goes over his wrist, so it's actually a lot harder to do the up and down on the wrist, but it is the same thing. And he does have the same ball joint. He can get a bit more range of movement because his coat doesn't hinder him too much, but it hinders a small bit. But all in all, they're really good figures. I do recommend picking them up. I know they're just kind of coming out now, they're just hitting shelves now for the season 2 kind of stuff. I do hope they continue the line and get all the characters done. I must go back and try and pick up Chief Hopper, as I said, in the first season version of 11, and I'm hoping they'll do all the characters, and I do hope they do a Bob figure as well, even if they do a Bob in his vampire get-up, just to have a bit of a joke. There is a 4-pack as well of the main 4 kids in their Ghostbusters attire that they wear in season 2, which is kind of their Halloween get-up, which is kind of cool. So I might try and pick that up at some point if I can see it. But all in all, it's a really cool set. They're really cool figures. I do recommend picking these up. They're not too pricey as well. I think they're around 20-ish each. So like, they're for Mcfarlane figures, they're actually quite good. And for a change, they're not as static as most Mcfarlane figures are. They actually are articulated, unlike some of the Spawn figures that they've done over the years, or the Movie Maniacs line that they did way back in the day. They had, like, you know, they were more statue than figure. But all in all, really good figures, and I do recommend picking them up. So there you go, guys. Just a quick video review for Mike and Will from the Stranger Things line from Mcfarlane, and I hope you enjoy this review. Actually, just before I go, I'll just show you to swap out the hand. You just pull out and you just pop in the peg. They can be a little tricky to get them to hold on, but there you go. So there you go, guys. Quick video review for the Stranger Things figures. I hope you enjoy my videos, and as I say in my videos, please feel free to like, comment and subscribe to my channel. Cheers, guys.